Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me and thank you for your continued support. Right, so Rachel Reeves had her big speech today and there wasn't really anything that we don't already know within the speech in terms of the benefit system and welfare. She just simply said that, they're going to be a green paper coming out in March and that Liz Kendall is going to bring out some announcements before that, just before that. So nothing really new coming out in terms of what's going to happen, but Liz Kendall did have to talk about something in the Commons, and I'm going to show you an article all about it. So let's take a look. Okay, it says Labour breaches welfare spend capped by billions despite Rachel Reeves' promise of cuts. Now, this says Labour is on course to breach the annual welfare spending cap by 8.6 billion. The Welfare Secretary Liz Kendall confirmed this afternoon in a humiliating statement to Parliament. She said the Office of Budget Responsibility has made a formal assessment of government benefit spending and has found taxpayers are on course to breach the previous government's 24-25 cap by nearly 9 billion this year. Despite Rishi Sunak's now scrapped plans to slash welfare spending on those using mental health as an excuse not to work. Ms Kendall revealed that as a result of the OBR's forecast, she is now being forced to reduce spending by the 8.6 billion figure, or to justify why the breach is taking place. Despite Rachel Reeves demanding cuts to the welfare budget in order to stabilise recent market turmoil, Ms Kendall's statement argues that she will not implement the massive spending reduction in order to fall within the cap. She said, whilst this government has already shown that it will not shy away from difficult decisions, this breach could only have been addressed through implementing immediate and severe cuts to welfare spending. This would not have been the right course of action. In recent weeks, it's been reported that Rachel Reeves and the Treasury have been growing frustrated with the Welfare Secretary's lack of progress coming up with changes and cuts to the benefit bill. It comes after Reeves committed to $3 billion in welfare cuts before the next general election. Speaking in the Commons, Shadow Welfare Secretary Helen Whately conceded that the government's welfare bill had gone up too much under the previous government. She said, "I'm not going to shy away from telling the truth. In the last few years, during and since the pandemic, things changed. While the number of jobs kept going up, the number of people economically inactive also started going up, and with that the welfare bill. Of the 9 million people working age defined as economically inactive, 2.5 million of them were not working because of ill health. That includes growing numbers of young people starting out on a life in benefits instead of a life with a career. In government, we were working flat out to tackle it." She also pointed out that Tories had worked out a way of cutting 12 billion from the welfare bill by reforming sickness benefits, however, did not have time to implement the plan before losing the election. The government spokesman said this unavoidable breach of the welfare cap predicted by the OBR is yet more evidence of the broken welfare system we inherited, which for years has failed in its duty to support millions of people into work and instead resigned them to a life on benefits, putting a huge strain on the British taxpayer. That's why we're taking immediate action to turn things around with the biggest employment reforms in a generation, so people who can work are supported into a job. While our health and disability benefit reforms in the spring will build a system that is work-focused, supports those who need it, and is fair on the taxpayer, and helps us kickstart economic growth, a key part of the plan for change. So it looks as though Liz Kendall has been under a little bit of pressure to cut spending on the benefits bill, but she didn't feel it was the right course of action to make immediate cuts, which is a good thing. It's good. I'm glad that she didn't do that, because that would have been hugely unpopular, which is probably why she didn't do it, but also it would have caused a huge amount of upset for a lot of people. So it looks as though from this, and also from Rachel Reeves' discussion, her speech today, that things are still on plan to go ahead in March when the spring budget comes out. They're going to probably be announcing things she said just before that in terms of the benefit and welfare system. So that's the update as far as it is for now. Let me know down in the comment section what you think, whether you think that Liz Kendall actually did a good thing there by not making immediate cuts, and I'll see you next time.